So
Mm-hmm.
we are at full book revision, page
Mm.
123. Okay, let
23.
me just
Yes.
change. Full book revision 123. And
Okay.
our last headword was MBA.
MBA.
Okay, so let's start again. Let me just scroll down. Two, three, MBA. Okay, here we go. Let's
Mm.
start. When talking about the intangible assets of a business, what does the term
Tangible.
goodwill mean?
Good
When
will
talking
mean.
about the intangible assets of a business, what does the term goodwill mean? When talking
We're
about
talking
the
about the
intangible assets
intangible
of a
asset
business,
of a
the term
business.
goodwill
The term
means
goodwill
the
means
additional value
the additional
that a
value.
company has
That
that
the
a
company
company
has.
has
The
as a result
company has a
as
resource
as a result
as a
of
result
intangible
of
assets
intangible
that
asset
attract customers,
that attract
such
customers,
as its strong
such as
brand,
its strong
good
brand,
reputation,
good reputation,
customer loyalty,
customer loyalty,
etc.
etc.
Very good. One more. When
Mhm.
talking about
We're talking
the
about
intangible
the
assets of a
intangible assets
business,
of a
the term
business.
goodwill
The
means
term goodwill
the
means
additional
the
value
additional
that a
value
company
that a
has
company
as a
has
result
as
of
a result
intangible
of
assets
intangible
that
assets
attract
that
customers,
attract the
such
customers,
as its strong
such as
brand,
its strong brand,
good reputation,
good reputation,
customer loyalty,
customer
etc.
loyalty, etc.
Greg, name a company that you think would have a high goodwill valuation if it were sold now. Name a company that you think would have a high goodwill valuation if it were sold now.
Apple
Is the
has
name of a
is the
company
name of a
that
company
I think
that
would
I
have a
think would
high
have a
goodwill
high
valuation
goodwill variation
valuation if it were
variation
sold
if it
now.
were sold now.
Very good. Give me an example of the idiom to flag something up.
To
Give
flag
me an example of the idiom to flag something up, please. The auditors flag up
auditors flag
several
up
areas of concern, several
several
areas
areas
of concern
of
in
concern
their report.
in their report.
Very good. One more. The auditors
The
flag up
auditors flag
several
up several
areas of
areas
concern in their
of
report.
concern in the report.
Very good. How often do the directors of a company assemble for an AGM? How often do directors of a company assemble for an AGM? The directors of a
Directors
company
of a
assembles
company
for an
assembled
AGM
for an AGM
annually.
annually.
But in a motor car plant, are most components assembled manually or by machine? In a motor car plant, are most components assembled manually or by machine? In a
In a
modern car
modern
plant,
car plant,
most components
most
are
components
assembled by
are
machines.
assembled by machine.
Very good. Name a well-known fast food business whose outlets are franchises. Name a well-known fast food business whose outlets are franchises, please. McDonald's is a
McDonald's
well-known
is
fast
a
food
well-known
business
fast food
whose
business
outlets
whose
are
outlets are
franchises.
franchises.
Right, in addition to products, what does a franchisor usually provide a franchisee with?
Franchise.
In addition to products, what does a franchisor usually provide a franchisee with? In addition to
In
products,
addition to
a
product,
franchisor
a franchisor
usually provides usually provides
usually
a
provides
franchisee
a
with
franchisee
financial assistance,
financial assistance,
location selection,
the
location selection,
location selection,
training,
training,
advertising, and support.
advertising, and support.
Very good. One more. In
Mm.
addition to
In
products,
addition to a
a
product,
franchisor
a franchisor
usually provides
usually
a
provides
franchisee
a
with
franchisee
financial
with
assistance,
financial assistance,
location selection,
location selection,
training,
training,
advertising, and support.
advertising, and the support.
Very good. Of the following three groups of stakeholders, whose welfare do you think the average CEO is most interested in? Customers, employees, or shareholders? Of the following three groups of stakeholders, whose welfare do you think the average CEO is most interested in? Customers, employees, or
Custom
shareholders? Of those three
of
groups
those three
of
groups
stakeholders,
of
I think
stakeholders,
the
I
average
think the
CEO
average
is
CEO
most
is
interested
most
in
interested in shareholders'
welfare.
welfare.
Very good. Why are big companies often willing to spend large sums of money on corporate hospitality? Why are big companies often willing to spend large sums of money on corporate hospitality? Big companies
Big
are
companies
often
are
willing
often
to
willing
spend
to
large
spend
sums of
large
money
sums of
on
money
corporate
on
hospitality
corporate
because
hospitality
they believe
because they
it helps
believe
them to
it
develop
helps them to develop
relationship with new
relationship with
clients
new
and to
clients
strengthen
and to strengthen
loyalty among
loyalty
existing
among
clients.
existing clients.
Very good. Okay.
That's one.
That's it. That's the end of it. Okay,
Okay,
so now
okay.
let's move on to reading.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where's
let
where
me
should I reading? Wow,
reading.
wow. Long time ago.
Okay, so reading
50,
is at page 59.
59.
Okay,
Okay.
the last
Mm,
headword was 58. Retail start at
mm,
59. Start
mm,
with a question. What
mm.
are the three main reasons for writing a cover letter?
Okay. What are the three main reasons for writing a cover letter? The three main reasons for writing a cover letter are to say which job we are applying for, to persuade the reader that our CV is worth reading, and to let them know our availability for interview.
Mhm,
What's the first piece of information we should put in a cover letter? The first piece of information we should put in a cover letter is why we are writing. Give me some examples, please. I'm writing to apply for the position of. I am writing to inquire whether you have any vacancies.
mhm,
What else should we say in the introduction paragraph? In the introduction paragraph, we should also say where and when we saw the advert for the position, if appropriate.
mhm,
In the main paragraphs of the letter, how can we persuade the reader to consider our application? In the main paragraphs of the letter, we can persuade the reader to consider our application by highlighting and summarizing any particularly relevant experience and skills from our CV, and by showing enthusiasm for the company and job. What else can we mention? We can mention any relevant abilities and personal qualities we have. What should we say in the conclusion to the letter? In the conclusion to the letter, we should thank the company for considering our application and mention our availability for interview.
mhm,
Okay, lesson 9 on the back burner.
mhm,
What do we mean when we say a project is on the back burner? When we say a project is on the back burner, we mean we have stopped working on the project temporarily because there is other more important work that needs doing. Give me an example of on the back burner, please. Organizing the summer conference isn't really a priority at the moment. So let's put that on the back burner for a while.
mhm.
Business structures 1. Sole trader, register, entity, liable. Give me some examples of occupations where people often operate as sole traders. Some examples of occupations where people often operate as sole traders are plumber, freelance journalists, etc. On hold, hang up. How long are you generally prepared to wait on hold during a phone call before deciding to hang up and try phoning again? I'm generally prepared to wait on hold during a phone call before deciding to hang up and sorry.
Uh,
I'm generally prepared
to wait
to
on
wait
hold
on hold
during a phone
for
call
during a phone
for
call
about.
for about 5 minutes
Mhm,
before deciding to hang up and try phoning again.
very good.
Direct cost, indirect cost, total cost, packaging. When a manufacturing company is considering its cost for a specific product, what does the term direct cost refer to? When a manufacturing company is considering its cost for a specific product, the term direct cost refers to any cost that relates directly to the production of a specific product,
Hmm.
such as the cost of raw materials, labor, packaging, etc. And what does the term indirect cost refer to? The term indirect cost refers to costs that do not relate directly to the production of a specific product, but are shared across the whole company. Give me some examples of indirect costs, please. Some examples of indirect costs are overheads such as rent, heating, insurance costs, etc. When the direct and indirect costs for a particular product are considered together, which term do we use? When the direct and indirect costs for a particular product are considered together, we use the term total costs.
Very good.
Wholesale, resell, in bulk. How does a wholesaler make money? A wholesaler makes money by purchasing goods in bulk from producers and then reselling them to retailers at a profit. Feedback, pop up. Why is it important for bosses to give employees regular feedback on their performance? It's important for bosses to give employees regular feedback on their performance because positive feedback motivates people and an employee is more likely to perform better if they are told which aspects of their work they need to improve.
Hmm.
On a website, sometimes a window pops up
Hmm.
asking us to take part in a survey. What's the normal purpose of such surveys? The normal purpose of such surveys are to obtain feedback regarding our opinion of the website or to discover information about us for marketing purposes.
Purposes.
Carry out. In your opinion, should an employee carry out instructions even if they feel that what they are being asked to do is unethical? No, in my opinion, an employer shouldn't carry
No,
out
and one more. An
instruction.
employee.
Sorry, an employee shouldn't carry out instructions if they feel that what they are being asked to do is unethical. Describing change. 1. Figures.
Hmm.
Soar, rocket, plummet, plunge. Has the population of the world soared over the last 500 years? Soared. Yes, the population of the world has soared over the last 500 years.
Hmm.
How would you feel if property prices suddenly plummeted? If property prices suddenly plummeted, I'd feel happy.
Why?
Why? Because I can buy some properties
Very good.
for me.
Yeah.
Was there a rise or a fall in the number of people out of work in your country last year? There was a rise in the number of people out of work in my country last year.
Hmm.
Time frame, product development, quality control. In the healthcare industry, is a time frame for product development generally long or short. In the healthcare industry, the time frame for development is generally long.
Very good.
Why is this? This is because new drugs and medical equipment have to meet very high standards of quality control and be tested very carefully. Briefcase. If you accidentally left your briefcase or laptop on a train, would you expect to get it back? Yes, if I accidentally left my briefcase or a laptop on a train, I'd expect to get it back. Turnover, plant. Tell me a common word we use instead of revenue or income when talking about a business. A common word we can use instead of revenue or income when talking about a business is turnover. If there's an upturn in output in a car plant, is it logical that turnover will increase as a result? No. If there's an upturn in output in a car plant, it isn't logical that turnover will increase as a result. Why not? Because there may not be any demand from customers for the extra cars that are produced. What kind of things can cause a company to have a high staff turnover? Low wages, poor working conditions, bad management, etc., can cause a company to have a high staff turnover. Liquidate, liquidation, accumulate, pay off, creditor, debtor. What happens if a company operates at a loss for a long time, accumulates large debts, and can't find any investors to help? If a company operates at a loss for a long time, accumulates large debts, and can't find any investors to help, it has to go into liquidation. And what happens when the company's assets are liquidated? When a company's assets are liquidated, they are sold in order to pay off its debts to creditors. In the past, were business debtors in your country sent to prison? Yes, in the past, business debtors was in my country were sent to prison. Lesson 10: Network, verb, small talk. Why is the ability to make small talk important for successful networking? The ability to make small talk is important for successful networking because small talk helps people feel more relaxed, discover what interests they have in common, etc.
Mhm.
Mail order. Has the internet changed the way in which most traditional mail order companies do business? Yes, the internet has changed the way in which most traditional mail order companies do business. How? How? We usually order on website on using a website
Using the website or online.
online. Okay,
Very good.
online. Collapse, crash. If all the people you know personally, who do you reckon would suffer the most financially if the stock market suddenly collapsed? Of all the people I know personally, I reckon my father would suffer the most financially if the stock market suddenly collapsed.
Why?
Why? Because his income is pension and the benefit from stock market. Okay. Prospect, venture, joint venture, collaborate. Under what circumstances might an investor put money into a venture even when they know there's only a small prospect of the venture succeeding? An investor might put money into a venture even when they know there's only a small prospect of the venture succeeding because they believe the investment will be very lucrative if the venture succeeds.
Mhm.
What's a joint venture? A joint venture is a business project that two separate companies begin and collaborate on together. If you could do one thing to improve your career prospects, what would you do? If I could do one thing to
Thing.
improve my career prospects, I'd take teacher's license at the university.
Very good.
Respond, response, invitation, which abbreviation is sometimes printed at the bottom of formal invitations in order to request a response. The abbreviation RSVP is sometimes printed at the bottom of formal invitations in order to request a response. What do the letters RSVP stand for? The letters RSVP stand for Répondez s'il vous
Re-
plaît.
Repon s'il vous plaît. Very
Répondez s'il
good.
vous plaît,
Okay, like that.
which means please respond in French.
Very good.
Cost effective, mail shot budget. Okay. Which form of marketing would you say was probably the most cost effective for a business such as a restaurant? Placing advertisements in the local press, handing out leaflets on the street, sending mail shots, or advertising on local radio. For a business such as a restaurant, I'd say the most cost effective form of marketing was probably handing out handing out leaflets on the street.
Very good. Why?
Why? Because it's the easiest way, and the people can visit that restaurant.
Mhm. That's correct. Around the area.
Mm,
Yeah, very
okay.
good.
And if you were the owner of a restaurant, when would you choose to increase your marketing budget? When turnover was up or when turnover was down? If I were the owner of a restaurant, I'd choose to なんだっけ
Increase my
increase
marketing.
my marketing budget when turnover was down.
Hmm.
Presentation, proposal, pitch, potential, topic, software, flip chart, handout, sum up. What are some common reasons for giving a presentation at work? Some common reasons for giving a presentation at work are to present a proposal or report to colleagues or to pitch to an existing or potential client.
Hmm.
Why should we think carefully about our audience when preparing a presentation? We should think carefully about our audience when preparing a presentation because it can help us decide which aspects of the topic we should focus on during the presentation. To help us during a presentation, what kind of equipment can we use? To help us during a presentation, we can use equipment such as a laptop with a presentation software and a projector, or simply a whiteboard or a flip chart. Tell me one reason why we might also give our audience handouts. We might also give our audience handouts so that they live with a written record of the most important information. What do people usually do at the end of a presentation after summing up the most important points? After summing up the most important points, people usually make suggestions for what should happen next, thank the audience for listening, ask the audience if they have any questions, etc. Loss leader, accomplish transaction. Why do supermarkets and other retail businesses sometimes introduce loss leaders? Supermarkets and other retail businesses sometimes introduce loss leaders to attract customers to the shop in the hope that they'll buy other more profitable goods during their visit.
Hmm.
Do you believe loss leaders accomplish that goal? Yes, I believe loss leaders accomplish that goal. How can a shop prevent customers from buying loss leaders in bulk?
Okay, so
Shops